Evelyn Farkas is here, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia, Ukraine, and Eurasia under the Obama administration. Evelyn, thanks. There was no stopping what the Pentagon said was coming, what the White House said was coming. But what they haven't said is how it all ends. They've told us he wants to take Ukraine, decapitate its government, put in a puppet government. But does he go past there? There are NATO nations all around. Is this the end game?
Well, Shep, of course, I can't say with certainty either, but it's highly alarming because you see he has enough firepower to take over Ukraine and to do it probably relatively quickly, although definitely not bloodlessly, and the Ukrainians will continue to fight. But I have already heard rumors about Russian forces. I mean, there are Russian forces in Moldova and, taking greater action to essentially decapitate potentially that government. Because there's a breakaway region in Moldova. This is a Russian thing that they've been exercising a kind of option throughout the last several decades. But I am most afraid, though, that he will do something either accidentally or on purpose to violate the territorial sovereignty of our NATO allies, the Baltic states or Poland. We're going to see refugee flows. We're going to see a lot of NATO military action. And so the danger will increase. We need to have NATO military action to deter the Russians. But I'm very afraid that Putin will be tempted if we're not showing a really robust presence, perhaps even exercising. And that includes also the Black Sea, frankly.
He said, Putin, the other night in his speech, which was pre-taped, by the way, he said that the destruction of the Soviet Union was a catastrophe for Russia, and made it clear that what he wants to do, apparently, is restore something like the Soviet Union. It seems perfectly clear, and he didn't sound like a person who is grounded in reality completely. Many observers said at the time, he seems like someone who's siloed away and detached. Your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts, Shep, are that he is exhibiting kind of this imperialistic mentality. The word that's often used is revanchist, which means you want to redraw borders and you want to bring your ethnic groups together. And it's almost more like he wants to recreate the Russian Empire. I think what a lot of people have noticed is just how angry he was. This is almost personal for him. And so therefore, I guess it stands to reason that he doesn't even care about the cost to human life, the economic cost to the Russian Federation. And so our leverage on him is very small in the short run. Though I do think in the medium run, once you start seeing body bags going back to Russia, you will see the Russian people react. They don't want war in Ukraine, so it will not be a popular war. And the Russian people have a history, the Russian mothers in particular, of demonstrating against war and their sons coming back dead. They did that in the 80s during the Afghan war. The Russians, as you remember, the Soviet Union was in Afghanistan. That was also something that dealt a political blow to the Soviet Union. It might have very much weakened the government. So I think there will be things that will weaken Vladimir Putin. But right now, the next days and weeks will be very dangerous and very bloody. And there'll be lots of refugees flowing into Europe.
Finally, the Pentagon has said what he wants to do is decapitate the government. What can deter him from that?
Well, very little, unfortunately. I mean, that is the key to his quote unquote success in Ukraine. If he wants to control Ukraine, he needs to control the government. Vladimir Zelensky, the democratically elected president, is still in Kyiv, taking shelter, obviously hiding. But I don't know what will happen to him. It's very brave of him that he's doing what he's doing. I think we need to make sure we have media in there recording everything. He won't be the only one that's in the target of the Russians. We know they have a list of people that they want to imprison, torture, assassinate. This is a human rights violation on a large scale. And if I could, my last point would be the approach has to be global. We haven't heard enough from other countries outside of Europe. We need more action at the UN. Russia needs to be treated like a rogue state on par with North Korea and Iran.